So take a moment to arrive in your meditation posture and settle your awareness in your body. You want to be in a comfortable and stable position that allows your breath to flow easily in and out without feeling blocked in any way. You can either gently close your eyes or you can keep them slightly open with a soft focus 3 to 4 feet in front of you. If you are feeling more sleepy or sluggish, then consider keeping your eyes slightly open. If you're feeling restless, you may want to consider having your eyes closed. See if you can let go of whatever has already happened during your day. Let go of any worries, stress, or excitement that might have accumulated. Encourage your nervous system to shift out of a protective, defensive state into a more open and connected mode. Allow your mind and body to relax as much as possible while also being engaged. So relax, but not so relaxed that your energy is flat or low. And feel engaged or alert without being rigid or vigilant. See if you can set the intention to cultivate a relaxed engagement during your practice. For this meditation, we will be focusing on the first and second scopes of mindfulness. The term scope refers to what will be our object of focus during meditation. For the first scope, we will focus on the breath, and for the second scope, our object will be physical sensations. Let's start with the first scope, also called the first foundation of mindfulness, the breath. So our object of focus will be the breath as a way to cultivate mindfulness. Start by bringing your attention to the breath. You can focus on following the full cycle of the breath as it enters the body with the inhale and exits the body with the exhale. Or you can center your awareness on one of the specific areas of the breath cycle, like the air entering the nostrils, how the breath meets the back of the throat, the rise and fall of the chest or belly. Whatever you choose, let it stay the center of your focus for the duration of the first scope. It is normal for our attention to wander, so when you notice that your awareness is no longer on the breath, gently and kindly pivot your attention back to the breath. It's normal to bring our attention back over and over again throughout our practice. Try not to judge yourself or get frustrated if your mind is going off in many directions or if you feel sleepy. Know that the act of bringing your awareness back to the breath is the practice of cultivating mindfulness. If you notice that your attention is following a thought, gently and kindly bring your attention back to the breath. See if you can let the thought be in the background with the breath, your object of focus, in the foreground of your awareness. Use the breath as a home base to gather back your awareness when your awareness wanders. If you are finding it hard to focus your attention on the breath, you can use counting to help. Inhale and exhale 1, inhale and exhale 2, up to 10. And then count backwards, down to 1. Inhale and exhale 10, inhale and exhale 9. If you feel sleepy, rest your attention at the tip of your nostrils and focus on the cooling, refreshing air as it enters your nose. Or you can imagine a big, bright sun shining down on you. This can help energize the mind. And if you feel very distracted and you're having racing thoughts, bring the center of your attention to rest on the rise and fall of your belly. And imagine a midnight blue sky. This can help calm the mind. If you have chosen to focus on the full cycle of the breath, you may be aware of subtle movements or vibrations in your body. You may notice subtle movements as your chest and belly rise and fall, or shifts in temperature as the air meets your nostrils. See if you can encourage your awareness to pick up on micro changes that happen as the breath moves through the body. If you have brought your attention to a specific area of the breath, see what subtleties of change you notice. And if you notice that your attention has wandered, no worries. Gently and kindly bring it back to the breath. Now let's open the focus to the second scope, sensations in the body and our sensitivity to them. To cultivate mindfulness using the second scope, we bring attention to the feeling tone of physical sensations. The feeling tones we will use are pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Let's begin by scanning the body and noticing areas that feel uncomfortable, agitated, or vulnerable. When you have found a sensation that feels difficult in some way, label the sensation as unpleasant. Now notice your reactivity to the sensation. Do you want to run away, fight it, block it out? Whatever your reaction, see if you can pause and shift the reactive pattern to stay with the sensation. See if you can tolerate being with the sensation. Notice what happens when you meet these areas with an open and curious awareness, as opposed to being reactive or trying to push the experience of unpleasantness away. You may even find that just by labeling the sensation unpleasant, that a subtle shift takes place in how you relate to the sensation. Maybe there is more acceptance or tolerance towards that which is unpleasant. You can tend to the sensation by breathing in a nurturing, loving energy into the more stressed and vulnerable parts of the body. Imagine your breath tending to these hurt parts like a nurturing caregiver to a child. Now scan your body for any areas that feel pleasing, soothing, or satisfying. Maybe you feel a gentle heat in your belly or an openness in your chest. When you have identified a sensation that brings pleasure, label it as pleasant. And now notice your reactivity to the sensation. Does a desire for more arise? Or maybe you want to hold on to the sensation and make it more intense. Whatever your reaction, see if you can pause, shift the reactive pattern to gently stay with the sensation without having to grip onto it. Notice what happens when you meet these areas with an open and curious awareness. You may notice the impermanence of the sensation, how it rises and falls away. You may find that just by labeling the sensation pleasant, that a subtle shift takes place in how you relate to the sensation. Maybe there is more acceptance of enjoying and then letting go of that which is pleasant. It can be helpful to recognize that pleasure, just like pain, can disorient us, make us impulsive, reactive, and off balance. Breathe into these areas a calming and clarifying energy. Now scan your body for any neutral, indifferent, or numb areas. Maybe you are indifferent to the back of your knees or your earlobes. When you have identified a sensation, label it as neutral. And notice what happens when you focus your attention on the neutral sensation. Are you indifferent or disinterested? Maybe there is a sense of boredom and a desire to move on to something else. Or possibly you feel some impatience when sitting with dullness. Notice your reaction, pause, and see if you can shift the reactive pattern to stay curious with the sensation. You may even find that just by labeling the sensation neutral, that a subtle shift takes place in how you relate to the sensation. Maybe there is more attentiveness and regard towards that which is neutral. You can breathe into these areas a renewing and restorative energy, an energy that is clarifying and awakens interest and curiosity. Finally, see if you can imagine a balanced intermingling of the three feeling tones so that life does not feel like a roller coaster ride of highs, lows, and disconnection. Imagine moving from the pleasant to unpleasant to neutral to pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, without the need for big reactions in between. Imagine your mindful awareness bringing an even keel to riding the sensory waves so you are living a more stable and balanced life. Take the next few moments to open to the flow of sensations as they appear moment to moment in the mind. And if you wish, you can dedicate your practice today to someone or something. An example is, I dedicate the merit of this meditation for the benefit of all sentient beings everywhere. And feel gratitude towards yourself for taking the time to care for yourself by meditating today.